Welcome to the No Flop Zone. I'm here, Boti Nodge, with the coach, Joey Wright. We're talking all things NBL. We've got a big episode coming up, but we have to start right at the Adelaide. You picked the Adelaide-Perth game as the game of the round, and it certainly turned out
game
that
of the
way.
year right now.
Do you think?
Oh, yeah, that was amazing.
Well, I thought the last 4 minutes and 27 seconds was certainly game of the year from Adelaide's perspective.
Yeah, from Adelaide's perspective, but just overall game feel. Man, that was a great game overall. Just a good game to watch and to be a part of.
Now, you expected them to be some negative reaction toward Bryce,
I did.
And I thought they handled it really exceptionally, showed a lot of class.
Yeah, no booze?
No booze, and they had the tribute up, for all he'd done over his career there, which is enormous. So the stage was set.
And I thought it was perfect, too. You don't go in there and try to ignore him, make him mad. Go in there and just throw a bunch of love at him and take away that one chip on his shoulder when he gets there. Which seemed to work for a little bit. He was not into that game for most of the game, other than his ability to pass the ball, which he did an exceptional job of. Just being in the right place. But, he's 3 air balls from Bryce. You don't typically see that.
No.
But he played a fantastic game, and he was there when they needed him.
Anyway, I thought their reception was absolutely fantastic, even though, as you say, he missed a few shots. He wasn't engaged as much as what you thought initially.
Yeah.
But right there, when they needed him, he was there, that big shot down the straight.
Yeah, he's going to seem like always when you need him, he's going to be there. But a lot of times he leads you into that.
Yeah.
He plays so well that he leads you into it. But he was there when they needed him, and he knocked down some big shots.
Last 4 minutes, 27. Mike Wells takes a timeout. Mike Wells, who early in the game had made some substitutions that I thought were I couldn't follow them at all, but nonetheless, he's taken that timeout. The score's 92-76. They're 16 down. You got 4.5 minutes to go, less than 4.5 minutes. And they go in from that, and then it's just amazing. That's why I said that patch is the best for an Adelaide fan.
Let's go back from the Perth side. I thought it was about 3 possessions before John called a timeout. I seen their body language changing. And John called a timeout. Then what I would have done in that scenario is went into a full court press. I would have extended my pressure with my team being up that margin to let them know, hey, this thing's not over. Because you call the timeout, they look at the clock and they we got this. We just need to.
Yeah, exactly.
Time just needs to go. It's only 4 minutes. We got this. So you, as a coaching trick, you can kind of trick your group by saying, you know what, we're going to go crazier now. We're going to go full court press. We're going to trap pick and rolls, whatever it may be, just to turn the energy up, whatever your energy markers are. And for my teams, it was always full court press and trapping the pick and roll. Those were kind of some energy markers we would use. So I thought that would have been a good trick in that situation because they were dead. And then it gets to panic mode because when it gets back to 4, it's panic mode. It ain't 4 points then. It's 0 at that point. So, I thought they could have did a better job down the stretch, Perth.
They made some great shots, Adelaide, but defensively, which is not really their forte or hasn't been, there was huge blocks. Cheatham's block was massive on a dunk. Flynn Cameron's block that you sort of didn't even see, it happened so quick. And then the really big one, Humphreys getting David Duke as he's driven up towards the end, got that go down. And then how smart was Flynn Cameron?
Yes.
Oh my God! Like that little hezzy move, as though like I'm giving this to Bryce. Everybody was going. No, we're not. I'm lining up. We're winning.
And everybody bit. I mean, it was such a smart play by such a young player, and it was just great to see him hit a winning shot in his career.
Yeah. Well, so Adelaide goes top of the table now. Perth, do you have them in your top 4?
Yeah. Perth they're gonna cause some trouble down the stretch. Jaron really's gonna be coming back. That's gonna help some with that leadership and getting the ball in the right place. But this way, I don't think they lose if he plays that down the stretch.
No, I was about to say the same thing. They would have stayed organised. Yeah. Jaron would have kept them organised. They would have got that game. So he's a big piece.
Big piece. And not only getting them organised, I think his competitive nature would have just exuded. Like he competes. So I think that they'll miss him. So I do put them in the top 4.
Right. So we go Adelaide, Melbourne, Perth, Southeast Melbourne now. Surely that was a huge win over United.
That was a huge win for them. That was a big win for them. I think they needed that to kind of solidify themselves. I think that's the first time they beat someone above them on the ladder.
Yep.
Which is not many people above them. So that's why it was such a big win for them. And it's such a convincing win.
Yeah, right from the get-go. They come out, hit a couple of big threes, were never headed. I didn't even really think they were threatened that often. Maybe Melbourne had a couple of little runs,
but not much.
Yeah,
I
they
think
always had the answers.
I think Melbourne's going through that phase that all successful teams go through, meaning once you know that you're going to win, then the players start feeling like, yeah, I can get mine now. I can get mine. We're going to win. We're good. Like, we're 7-0. We're going to win.
Yep.
And they start thinking about me instead of we. And as soon as that happens at 2 or 3 major spots, it turns off. Now, Ding's trying to shock them. And that's what that whole lineup mix was about. And this and that. Hey, I don't care how good you are, you still got to do some things. And if you don't do some things, you're going to sit over here. So he's coaching. He's doing what he's supposed to do. And it doesn't get fixed quick, but it does get fixed. They'll be a contender by the end of the year.
See, I like the way Perth handled them early in the round. Took care of Melbourne I thought, quite convincingly. Yeah. And I felt that was always going to happen because they played the week before and John really had some minor complaints, as every coach has, and I'm not having a crack at him, about the officiating, and he felt they got a bit of a raw deal, which is sort of funny coming from somebody in Perth. But anyway, I just felt that group felt we got robbed, and they were really anxious to get the second chance at them, and they handled them again. I didn't think they were truly threatened by Melbourne in that game, as South East Melbourne wasn't. So is it time to worry about United, or do we say once Shea Lee comes back?
Once Shea Lee comes back, all that's fixed.
Yeah.
Like you don't have, and once again, that's going back to the Jerry Riley analogy. Once you have one person that don't even know what quit looks like, they don't even know what quit looks like. Quit ain't in their vocabulary. Yeah. We're up 40, so I'm playing just like we're down 40. When that comes back onto the court, a lot of that changes.
Right. Illawarra, the amazing win over South East Melbourne, and I thought they had that done and dusted, and then Nathan Sobey has the last quarter to put in a time capsule. He's outstanding after having a pretty ordinary 3 quarters. But the amount of turnovers they had, I think they had 26 turnovers. And they gave up 27 offensive rebounds. Those 2 stats alone sort of suggest you're going to get beaten pretty handily.
Yeah, well, Southeast was coughing it up as well. And it just seemed like both of them just didn't want to win, and then one of them decided to win. It was great to see Peterson come out and get going.
Quentin,
he had some tough shots. And, I mean, they brought him in for a reason. He hadn't impressed me up until now, but... That was impressive. Yeah,
42. I think that's the second highest score of the season, behind one of Bryce Cotton's earlier games. So, yeah, they stood out. And then Cairns comes in. No Jack McVeigh. His wife Bethany's having their second child. No, he doesn't go to the game. From start to finish, Cairns has got him. It's almost like Illawarra thought, this is Cairns. Yeah. We just got to show up. It was a disaster for the Hawks. I reckon that's the one that cooks them.
Is that the one?
That's the one that cost them making the playoffs.
Yeah, we'll see. I didn't see the game, so.
You didn't? Just Andrew Andrews played outstanding. He played the way you want him to play. He had 27 points. His shot selection was good, and his distribution of the ball was really good. Galloway had like 14 rebounds or something, and Mojave King. Everyone just stepped up. Marcus Lee at double figures. They were good. They had him pretty much the whole way. They won 93-76 and basically had the game on toast. And it's in Wollongong, which really bothers me because it's been hard over a long period of time to get the fans to believe and get them out. Yeah. And now I see by the crowd numbers they're starting to drift away a little bit because maybe they just don't believe this group can get it done.
Look, I don't know about this group either. I do, we talked about this in one of the earlier shows. A lot of the guys that are playing huge minutes now were bench players on their team last year. You lose some quality guys from last year with Trey Kell, being the best of that group, but they don't seem like they have much chemistry. Looking at the body language and reaction to each other and just the things they don't get right. Doesn't look like they have a chemistry.
Dan Gritter came off the bench, 18 points. I think that's a career high. 10 minutes he played. I mean, he needed to be out there a lot longer. He drove, I think it was the 3rd quarter, he drove a bit of a comeback where they looked like, this Cairns might tighten up now, having lost a lot of games. You know how it is. Once you lose a lot of games, you get familiar with, this is where we blow it.
Exactly.
But Andrews guided him through it, which was the first time, I got to say, it's the first time since his first game that I've been impressed with him.
Yeah, I haven't, really liked what he's brought. He gives you enough, but he takes enough away most of the time. There's some brilliance and then some stuff that's not so great. But it's good to see him step up.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to talk about the 36ers Brisbane game because in our viewer topics, there's a couple of questions aimed at you, so we'll be able to talk about that then. Let's talk about our All-Star 5 for this week. I'll give you my 5 so you can laugh at them and do your own thing. I'm going with Parker Jackson Cartwright. New Zealand got 2 very important wins. They beat Sydney. They beat Tasmania.
Yep.
And these are teams that you sort of think are in the contention for the lower part of the 6. And New Zealand is there. They're in 6th place.
New Zealand can beat anybody when they're rolling. Anybody. When they look good, they look really good.
Yeah.
They just can get disorganized really quick.
I think a big key for them is Isaiah Brockington and Rob Baker, the 2 imports playing well, and Menenga being consistent, and then Lopez. You say, oh, gee, actually, there's quite a bit of talent on that group.
I think they have the talent. It's just they have at least a quarter where just nothing happens, where they just don't score points.
Yeah. It's amazing, isn't it? And it's fairly regular too.
Fairly regular.
Okay, and then in my 5, I've also got Andrew Andrews for that performance that we just spoke about. Dan Gritter, because what he did in that game was terrific. He was the only Hawks player that was really having a crack and trying to get him out of it. I went with Cheatham, Simon Cheatham. I think he had 2 good games, and his blocks and just his consistency. He had a couple of 20-point games. You know, he's been very
I've
good.
never seen anybody can block dunks so well.
Yeah.
And not just shots, but dunks.
Because the dunks coming, 2-handed dunks too, that are coming with real force.
No. He went up there and got that one. Oh, my God.
Yeah. And the other one I had in Isaac Humphries. I thought his 2 games against Brisbane, he was very good. They didn't need to, they were able to bench most of their main guys because they were flogging the Bullets. And against Perth, 28 points is equal career high, big block at the end. Some great plays. That was my 5. So, all right. So your 5 is?
My 5 is Nathan Sobey, Xylem Cheatham, Doolittle,
Isaac Humphries.
Peterson, and Isaac Humphries.
Yeah, that's a good 5. I'll make a case for all those guys that they had a good round. Okay, let's have some viewers' topics. We've got a couple of gems among these. This one's from Artie. He says the FIBA games between Australia and New Zealand reminded me of what competitive All-Star games used to look like. What are your opinions with the amount of talent the NBL has now? Could it bring back the All-Star game, but sort of like Team USA versus Team World style? So we could have a team like Australia, team representing New Zealand, and then 2 teams of imports. They'd play rounds of knockout-style games, and the winning team would be rewarded with some extra cash for the players, similar to Ignite Cup. I feel this could fit well, especially if the league adopted a trade period.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Mix it up and give it a different look. I like it.
Well, that FIBA Series World Cup qualifier showed that we've probably got enough Australian talent and New Zealand talent for 2 teams. Yeah. But if you're looking at 3 imports a team, 30 imports, you got 2 import teams. That's 20 of them. That's too many.
That's too many.
I think you just have the 3 teams.
The 3 teams, 1 import, Aussie, New Zealand.
That could work. That could work really well.
That'd be good. It'd be interesting. You'd want to see it for sure.
Yeah, I mean, this big thing they're having in Perth in January, something like that would be a very attractive option.
Yep.
That's a good one anyway. Okay, Michael, 6345 says, a question for both of you. Do you think imports come into this league with an expectation that they'll have an easier time than they actually do? In other words, do guys get surprised by the standard?
The first time they're over, everyone does. If you haven't played basketball outside of America and you only hear American rhetoric and played in American college system and whatever, you don't know. You don't think people can play as well as they do overseas. So if you're a rookie, but if they're second year on now, they know exactly what this league is versus any other league. What you guys don't understand is what we talked about last week. When a player comes over like a Troy Brown, they have to get acclimated first. Sure. They're basketball players, but they got to get acclimated. They can't just because it's a game in America and a game here, or a game in Europe and a game here. You still got to get here, get your feet into it, get settled. Your shooting is not going to be great early on. Shooters suffer more than anybody when they move around, because shooters have to be in a familiar environment, know that that's a shot that the coach wants, know that the players are happy with it, and then they make shots. And you don't know that when you first come.
Yeah. I really enjoyed when Ian Clark played for Melbourne United, having just come from playing a little while earlier in his career with Steph Curry. Yeah. There was one game there where Chris Goulding was just making it, everything, he was almost unconscious. Yeah. And Ian Clark was like blown away and just rapt at how good Chris Goulding was. Yeah. You know, I think that's a great example of coming here and going, wow, actually they can play in other countries.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, Cameron Pollock says, there's a question for Joey. If you were the Bullets GM of basketball, would you have already made the call to let Stu Lash go? He says, we know you probably would never have even put him in that position in the first place.
Yeah, that's
but if for some reason you had, like temporary insanity, would you take into consideration all the injuries they've had and give them a bit more time to turn it around? Or is it time to pull a trigger?
To answer that question, probably wouldn't have been in place initially, period. But this year, their response to what's going on has a lot to do with injury. No one's going to win with that team. I don't care. You can put Phil Jackson over there. They'll win one more game, but they're not going to win much more games than what they have. So I don't know if this is a Stu Lash situation, other than we do take responsibility as a head coach for everything that happens. So the injuries that happen, that's still part of me. Maybe I got the wrong S&C person in place. Maybe I have the wrong physio in place. Maybe I have the wrong recovery. Maybe we're practicing too long. So I just put all the injuries on me, and you just got to figure it out.
Yeah, that's where the buck stops.
Yeah.
Okay. Tyranobus Maximus 6100 says, okay, serious question for Joey. I mean, I can just listen. Just watch the Brisbane Adelaide game. Stu Lash is out of his depth. He seems like a nice guy, but he should only be an assistant. Joey, Kerry Packer used to say, everyone has a price, and ran his business that way. What would the price be for you to coach the Bullets?
It's no price.
It's
not a price. Can't sell my soul. No, just the place I'm in now. I'm happy.
Yeah.
And I don't want to mess with that.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good. I'm still getting what I need out of basketball in training and developing. I'm on the court 6 days a week. I'm still out there for 4 or 5 hours a day. I'm still enjoying it. And I think I get to affect basketball at a junior level way bigger than I ever did at a national level. Right. So I feel I have more influence. The glitz and glamour that come with coaching at the NBL, that's never been attractive to me. As much as people think whatever, Joey want to be in front of TVs, I hate being in front of TVs. I hate being around crowds. I don't like it. So,
I'm hearing you, but I'm looking at those 3-piece suits and the tie and the Rolex.
To me, the Rolex. If you ever see me with a Rolex, you better believe I found it.
You know what I'm saying.
And I'm going to sell it the next day.
Where's the camera? Where's the camera?
Not even close.
Vaughn Mabry, get out the way. Where's the camera?
And Vaughn goes, no.
No.
Right. No, not interested.
Okay, we've got iThanks 1990 says, can you talk about how NBL games are just marketed to kids heavily? He says, well, from the Southeast Melbourne United games that he's been to. And then what he's referring to is how they turn the game into a non-stop barrage of music and songs. Do you think it takes away from the game? I understand in 10 to 15 years this might develop more and fans can turn it into an AFL atmosphere. But after seeing the Hawks versus United final series, hard, serious basketball atmosphere is a lot more exciting.
I think it is to some. I don't know if it's exciting to everybody. If my wife wanted to go to the game and just deal with the game, she would have a fit. She loves the dancing and the music and this coming in and did you see that and this and she's pointing at things nothing to do with it down on the court.
Yeah.
So for that they have to cater to because guess what? That's the person that's gonna spend the money.
Yep.
Us true basketball fans, we just want to watch the game. We ain't buying no popcorn. We ain't buying no jerseys. We ain't buying no hats. We ain't buying any of that stuff. We want to watch the game. So I think they do a great job now versus what they didn't do back in the day, even when I played in the NBL. It is more of a show, and it has to be.
Yeah, you see, I've find what they're doing with the Adelaide Lightning this year in the WNBL. The atmosphere at those games is fantastic. There's a lot more noise and music and dancing and carry on and fireworks and all kinds of stuff. Yeah. As an older bloke, it drives me crazy. I could do without it.
Exactly.
But I look around at 2,000 people and go, they never used to get this big a crowd, so it's working.
They get 2,000 people there, and kids are having fun. You can see the joy. You can feel the joy. I've been to a couple Lightning games. Anybody hadn't been, go out. It's a good show. And it's a good feel there, and I think they've done a good job with capturing that group of people that kind of pass a basketball.
We're back and we're talking about the game of the week. And the game of the week we've decided is a pretty easy one to select because it's 1 versus 2. Adelaide versus Melbourne United in Adelaide at a time when Melbourne is in a little bit of a slump. And Adelaide's got to be feeling absolutely great about itself. Yeah. So does that lean you toward the 36ers, or do you not see Melbourne dropping 3 in a row?
I see Melbourne dropping 3 in a row.
You do?
Yeah. I think this scenario with when you have a win like you had with Adelaide, it's a double win because you felt the pain of the loss. They felt the pain of that loss at a certain point.
Yes.
But they won the game. So I think you still can go away with the benefits of that pain and say, look at how we play. We can't do this because it causes this. Hey, here's 2 minutes later, 3 minutes later when we play like this, and this is the benefits we got. So I think that's a double win for them. They're feeling really good about themselves. I think Melbourne is still going through that little bit of a, hero start, and so we'll see.
Well, I don't think we see the best of Melbourne United now until Sheikh Illy comes back. Because I think they, as you say, they've hit that spot where, they're trying to find a way.
When is he back?
I don't know, a couple of weeks yet. But see, the interesting thing is, how well were they travelling? Like, you were ready to join that crew that said Melbourne won't lose a game before Christmas.
Who was ready to join that
You
group?
were.
Look
at the
close.
videotape from 3 weeks ago.
Go back 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. I didn't say that because
you said
I said they will be very good, but nobody gets to win every game in this league.
Up until Christmas. Up until Christmas is what Damon Lowry had said somewhere. And I think you were jumping on the Damon Lowry bandwagon. Which I know you're big on. You're a big fan. But I mean, they've lost 4 games since that conversation was occurring. So it's quite amazing.
Yeah. It's I think they got some stuff there they got to work on, but it's stuff that gets fixed when it's time to get going.
Yeah.
Like and Dean's teams always play better closer to playoffs anyway.
Yeah, but they did look invincible for a while, and they certainly look far more vulnerable now anytime. And that was just getting back to Southeast Melbourne. That was a huge win for them, and we really didn't maybe give them enough credit.
Yeah, no, huge win, and Josh Green is doing such a great job. That team, I think, is playing. They're good, and they have some talent, but he's got them playing all to their max. Although everybody's playing almost as well as they can play. And
they won that game without Owen Foxwell and Malik Lewis, 2 starters. 2 guys that are in their starting lineup on a regular basis. So, nothing but kudos to them. Bit worried about Sydney Kings. I think their worst is they're quite fragile.
Yeah. It's not a lot of substance there. When you look at your key player in KD, is not a great leader, and it's not showing. Like the leadership, you go, okay, Delhi's supposed to do that, but then Delhi comes in, does a great job of leading, but doesn't do such a great job of the other things they need. And then Bull Quall, to me, just hasn't progressed into the player I thought he was going to progress into. He's still making the same rookie fouls that he was making, as a rookie. He's had a couple of outstanding games, but that's what I mean about fragile. I think him and Xavier Cooks in particular can slip into getting thrown out of a game very comfortably. So they got some problems in Sydney, but you're going for Adelaide against Melbourne? Going for Adelaide against Melbourne. Who you got? I think I've gone with the 36ers at this stage too. And for everybody else, we'll be happy to see you again next time.